Hey, Lori here. Let's talk about it. Freedom 32624. United we stand, divided we fall. I just watched the video of the Independent Party with RFK Jr. and his running mate announcement. I cannot help but want to follow this new party. The other two parties have become dark in their own rights. They swing back and forth with nothing but the same dogma and propaganda. No real issues. They keep us divided. Finally, I see the hope we need to bring America back around to the Constitution and doing things for the people again, and bring back fair trade. This country, when it was founded with the supreme meaning of no more being told what we can worship, what we can wear, what we have to do with our bodies, and no conglomerates. That each man had a right to chase his or her own dreams. I stew over this a lot. I just like all of you. I mean, we're all in the same boat here, like it or not. And I just wanted to say that maybe it's time we gave these two parties a real run for their money for once and let them know that the people of the United States of America want their democracy back. The full swing of it. It is not about the country was built upon the premise of fairness to the people, and it included fairness for all people, the greater good of all. So we took and had things that were divided up the way we spend the money, the tax money and stuff, and I know that this is a huge bundle of crap for everybody to take in. I get it. But I beseech you to go out and buy a copy of the Constitution of the United States of America with the Bill of Rights and the amendments and all that in it. You can get one off of Amazon for like $20. And it'll be the best money you spent in a long time. And reread it as an adult. You really need to do this because we read this when we were kids, and hell, America was doing good when we were kids. And we were coming out of the Vietnam War, and anyway, things were really cool back then. Now it's gotten out of hand, and there isn't a soul that I've talked to that doesn't look at the news and look what's going on and think, what the hell has happened to our country? Well, I'll tell you what's happened real fast, and they're trying desperately to get this done. And it's going to take all of us to stand up and say no. We will not give up our country. But you have to stand up and say it. You can't sit back and think that we can sit in our little circles in our kitchens having coffee and our YouTubes and our Facebook and think it's going to be okay. Because it's not. Right now, they are pushing hard to take this country over and bust it up into 6 or 7 small countries like Europe is, and other continents, But just listen to Kennedy and his new running mate. She is very articulate. She's had a well-rounded background here in the States, from poverty to addiction in the home. I mean, there isn't a home in this country that doesn't have to deal with someone having a problem with some kind of abuse, drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever. No one is, unfortunately, very few anyway, get by without having to deal with it. But and what I'm saying is she's had a well-rounded life. She can relate to all of us. So can Kennedy. He pulled himself back up by the bootstrap, just like we do. So I want you to take a look at them. I'm just asking you to take a look and listen, because they are talking about real issues. Nothing that the Democrats or the Republicans are talking about, they're both bought out by the big elites. They just play back, it's like playing badminton, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was nothing but stupid shit. And then they've learned to bury all kinds of crap that they want to put in there in our in laws that they're trying to make, or budgets and stuff, and they put all kinds of stupid crap in there to hold everything up. Anyway, I think that there's a chance if we stand up and tell them, we don't like what you're doing, either side of you. We're going to go with the third party and take a risk. Because you know what? That's what this country was built on, a risk. A risk to have more. A risk to have our lives the way we like them. Some of us want to work just, mundane jobs. And some don't. And there's always the opportunity to become your own business. And then we like having local businesses. We like being able to go in and say, hey, Joe or John or whatever, and Mary or whatever. We like all that kind of stuff. I just want us to think a little further than the usual triggering things, and to set aside the propaganda and the obvious bullshit that's going on, because it's really a circus right now. I've lost a lot of respect for almost everyone in government, and that's sad. But as a people, and spiritual people, woke people, you need to stand up. You still have to stand up for our rights. And democracy is the best thing that's ever happened to the world. And if it's run right and we keep our regulations going and in order. So we have to constantly, stay in tune with our government and what they're doing and the laws they're passing. And we've got laws out there that are set up to break up the conglomerates called the antitrust laws. Why aren't we using them? We've used them a couple times, but not with everything. There has to be a change here, folks, or we're going down a really dark road that won't suit any of us. We all came here as freedom fighters. We were freedom people. We wanted free to be able to have the religion we want, and not be told what we had to worship, how we had to worship. You need to do your history and see what we walked away from and why we came here. And I don't care if you're Heinz 57, get your butt in there and start looking at all your history. Why we walked away from Europe or anywhere else in the world. Because we wanted the ability to have a dream. And that's what we want to keep. Anyway, I didn't mean to get mad, but it's very frustrating when and I'm very spiritual, and everybody knows it. But the thing is that even as a very spiritual being, and how much I believe in God, God also gave me a mouth, and He gave me 2 hands and a head and a finger and 2 feet, and He said, "Do what you can do. Build it, and they'll come." That's His promise. So let's build it. Let's build the country again that we love seeing. PBS. The reason we support PBS? It isn't so that all of us, because we all like it. It's because we are giving the opportunity to anyone that's poor or poorer with less than what we have to be able to be familiar with culture, be familiar with the arts, all those really cool things that usually you have to have a pretty good pocketbook to enjoy. That's why we support PBS, and it doesn't cost that much. And the reason we support these babies, the ones that, hey, that mother didn't go and have an abortion, she had a baby. That's why. You got to figure out what the hell it is you really have faith and a gumption for. And you have to realize that we are all in this together with the mess. Even the messes. even the poor. There's always going to be poor. And we give little safety nets to help the women and the children. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't cost that much. Do you know that it's less than 10% of the budget to cover Medicaid and food stamps and the arts? This is all the arts, okay? And there's a couple other things that are fit in there. There's the things that we do for social convenience and social safety nets is less than 10% of the budget. So let's stop that crap. If we don't grow up and see the reality that this country's middle class got busted up over 40 years ago, and it's been on not a trickle down of anything, it's been a landslide. That's why we have so many poor and homeless. We have to care about everyone. Do we have to take wonderful care of them? No. But we have to help them out a little. That's what our fucking taxes are for. And we have to stop thinking that the elite, the 1%, the really wealthy people of the world, give a damn, because they don't. I know that the rich people in this country, because they're wanting to reach that wealth at some point, think that they're being held back by us, the lower middle class or the poor. But no, actually it's not. We pay out more in tax subsidies and reimbursements to the wealthy than anyone else. And it makes it look really bad on this country that we're supporting the wealthy for what? We can build our own restaurants. We can do this. We can do that. We can build our own factories. We always have. What I'm saying is they moved in and started taking advantage of this country and its laws and its, regulations, and just found ways to get around them and bust them up. And it's wrong. So I'm going with Kennedy and his running mate. She seems real nice. But I'm saying give it a shot. Look at it. That's all I'm asking. Take a look at it. Take a look at both of them and listen to them, because they're talking about things that actually really matter and that affect all of us. So, and I'm just tired of the circus. They're playing us like a fiddle because they own all them son of a bitches. All of them. Anyway, it's our country. We can either stand up for it the right way, which means stand up and speak. It means stand up and vote. It means stand up and get involved. And being spiritual doesn't mean you're a happy camper all the time. Sometimes it means that you're a thinker and you help change things. You don't do it in a bad way. You do it in a good way. And Jesus said, and God said, you gotta be real. Be your true, authentic self. Did you know that's the only way you can get into heaven? The only way is by being your true, authentic self. Your own beliefs. And you have to stand by them. So, start rethinking everything a little bit. Look in the mirror and say, I'm not really perfect. Maybe she's right. Maybe I need to rethink a few things. Maybe I need to listen to these people. Because maybe I forgot. Maybe I need to go buy that book with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and reread all that crap. Because you're going to be surprised when you read it. I was. I ran into a couple things because, you can't see me right now, but I've got it highlighted all the way through. Because there are statements that are in there. When they wrote the Constitution, these were men that did not mix their words. They knew the importance of words. They also kept them very simple for any layman to understand. I'm just saying, cool your temper and your, whatever your issues are, cool them down and actually take a sober look at this book and reread it and see if you don't come up with some things that are extremely unique and that we kind of missed when we were in high school. And then we can have conversations about it. But I want to hear my presidential candidate and his vice president. I want to hear them talking about fair trade, the economy, and people running our borders, running over our borders. Where are they coming from? Somebody's shipping them son of bitches in here. Now, we don't take young men of a certain age. They're old enough to stay in their own damn country and fight for their rights, just like we did here. We take women and children or families that are, anyway, we got a whole bunch of lists for what we take and why. Look, we're being played and we're being made fools. And they've got us listening to YouTubes and sitting on Facebook and staying in our own homes and not even talking to our neighbors or our families, because they're trying to do a quick overturn of this country. And I think it's time we all stood up and told them to kiss our asses. Anyway, that's all I got tonight. Lori out.